That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Presented, as always, by Patrick Bannon. That's followed at 7:30pm by The Club, our harrowing soap opera about a group of poor young unfortunates who find themselves excluded from the Go-Getters programme and their inevitable demise. At 8pm, it's movie time with the network premiere of smash hit Bullet Man 2. And after that, at 10:20, Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey returns with a new season of Incisors, and his very first guest is popular parrot Hamilton Squawkbox. At 11:30, it's a double bill for popular transatlantic comedy That Nun's Got Guns. Before at 12:30, we reach the National Weather Report with Sally Peng to close out this evening's entertainment. But first, it's time to hand over to Jeremy, Megan and all the team at the National Nightly News.
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolfe.
And I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
So how do you feel about the sanctions?
I actually think that with advance in charge we'll be fine. Of course, the rest of the world will want us to fail, or it'll be their billionaires next. But I trust Julia and Peter.
Thanks, Patrick. Important stuff.
Controversial Prime Minister Julia Salisbury attempting to assuage growing public concerns with the following official statement released earlier today.
The international sanctions declared against this country today by the World Council remind us that now, more than ever, we need to come together as a team. Since coming to power, we have eradicated poverty and, as a consequence, seen crime fall to levels previously thought impossible. Our schools, hospitals and youth clubs are thriving, and our transition centres have enabled many thousands to unburden their loved ones with dignity. In any sane world, we would be held up as a model to emulate. Evidently, this is not that world. The privileged few have lobbied, and now they are striking back. But we will not cower before their tantrums. And we encourage other progressive nations of the world to continue to trade, visit, and share their cultures with ours. Do not be afraid. We have more friends than we can count. We are a team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side. Thank you.
Reassuring stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our refreshingly different government? Robin Short found out.
I was wondering if you could tell me what you think of the government.
What? That shower of iridescent punishing success and rewarding laziness? They're taking this country down the bloody Swanee. And it's not just me that thinks so. My wife Iris, she agrees.
A whole lot of problems. Protests were held today at the controversial construction site for Remington Swist's physics-defying MOOBS project. Since digging straight through the earth began 6 months ago, the project has been beset by problems, including localised tremors and the heat deaths of many of the workforce.
Residents of the nearby town of Calamity today converged on the construction site with sincere, if misspelt, placards, demanding a suspension of digging until safety checks can be carried out.
Of course, that's half a world away. But what does this country think? Patrick.
So, any thoughts about the MOOBS project, one way or the other?
Well, that is something I really care about.
Fantastic, great. So what do you think about it? Coffee? So Tia, the MOOBS project?
Well, ever since Harold grew his, we've had much better options on Tassel Tuesdays.
No, we're not talking about that, are we? We're talking about the tunnel through the earth.
Oh, how stupid of me. Well, in that case, don't really care. I'm indifferent now.
Pipers at the gates of dawn. Commuters in the capital this morning found themselves surprised and amused by the latest stunt from popular project group Disrupt.
Silent protests were held outside underground stations throughout the capital, bringing a pleasantly surreal quality to the morning commute.
Unless, like me, you have a phobia of mimes.
But how do we, as a country, really feel about Disrupt? Robin?
How do you feel about Disrupt?
Ah, well, now you're talking. Ruddy hero, showing us not to take it lying down like Iris here.
So you both feel they're a cause worth supporting?
Well, Iris doesn't speak on mine, but we're pretty sure there's still one in there, aren't we, love? Wherever it is, it loves Disrupt, fighting the odds for our freedom. And what could possibly be wrong with that?
Do you need me to get you some help?
Feast or famine. Resourceful doctors David Wong and Ingrid Sforsborg and Horgensford today announced their first successful harvest in Dante's taint. Although they can currently only grow a few fungal strains, the scientists seem to be staying positive, as the following picture shows.
The undauntable scientists chose to try and survive in the cave system while the complex rescue operation inches forward up here on dry land.
Let's hope they're like Stroganoff.
But with Advance planning to spend an eye-watering amount of public money on the rescue craft, we asked Patrick Bannon to find out what we should all be thinking about the accelerating costs.
This rescue is going to be expensive. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't want to sound cruel, mate, but...
Oh.
I mean, if they found some rare rocks down there, would I have got a share of the profits? Nah, of course not. So why am I expecting to pay now it's all gone tits up? Are you going to pay? Are you?
I'm sure. I think
I am not a number. Applications finally opened today for the new Advance Team membership cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks and, vitally, pubs and bars.
And of course, there's no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic. But most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Team membership cards?
I don't really join things as a rule. As Mother always said, membership is mostly for unmentionables, Malcolm.
And finally tonight, game of two halves. Fresh out of rehab, repentant celebrity sportsman Johnny Hansleaf is promising to turn over a new leaf.
In a surprisingly energetic appearance on the Whitney Chinwag show this morning, Johnny showed everyone he's certainly full of life and raring to go.
You better not try that on our sofas. I doubt they'll survive the frenzy.
But what should we think of this exuberant behaviour? Patrick?
Oh my god, fantastic!
Your thoughts there?
Later tonight, in a break from our usual responsibilities, Jeremy will be taking popular rapper Jesus to task over his street credibility. And then we'll both be meeting the team behind the new play that's got theatre critics buzzing with anticipation.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National Nightly
News. First tonight, let's return to our main story.
With the shine coming off Advance's popularity
and the honeymoon period pretty much over,
the National Nightly News has spared no expense in bringing you the response to today's sanctions from across the continent.
Our Prime Minister Peter Clement from his home in Lamfordshire.
Good evening, Jeremy.
And from Urkestan Foreign Minister Ivan Vodovich.
It's a great pleasure. Miss Wolf, you're like...
And from Svenland, Minister of Mojo, Björk.
Hey, everybody.
Minister Vodovich, your country pushed especially hard for these sanctions. Any regrets?
My only regret is I was not able to see the face of my old friend Peter Clements when the results of the vote were announced. As you say, he has one up in your bottoms.
In Svenland, we try not to gloat, actually, because it's seen as really ugly and dangerous to some small creatures, yeah?
Oh, don't worry, Minister. Ivan and I go way back. He's a wind-up merchant who can't shite. He's just trying to get a rise out of me.
You're like a man who load dissidents onto train to labor camp, not because of love of country, but to make up for size of his tiny penis.
Been on the vodka, Ivan?
No more than you. I see you on election night with mouth like man thinks he's singing beautiful lullaby, but actually he's squealing like a pig in hands of Andy Big Dick Farmer, eh?
Actually, we Svenlandians, we aren't size obsessed. We value passion, yeah, like the way we spoke up for Mr. Clement's country at the World Council.
That's all well and good, and high and mighty, but where were you for the actual vote, then? Not fingering each other's fjords?
Actually, that's kind of racist, and if you must know, I've had like a really tiring afternoon and my tongue is really thought.
Prime Minister, with Advance's popularity on the wane...
You don't have to bring that up at every given opportunity, you know.
Peter, he's like man who think he's sniffing flowers in beautiful glade, but he's actually standing on the floor pipe from tree at shit flushing time on day of festival of shit. I tell him this at 19th hole.
Minister Vodovich believes that left to their own devices, people will behave selfishly.
It's nature of all beasts.
However, in this country, we think our citizens are capable of being more than beasts.
Pathetic idealism.
Minister Björk, Svenland has long had radically different traditions and culture from the rest of the world, and yet it peacefully coexists. Why do you think that is?
Well, you know, I think maybe the world sees us as something they can actually spiritually be enlightened to, yeah?
Yeah, or maybe it's the orgy houses.
Sometimes, when foreign dignitaries come to visit us, they're actually quite skeptical, actually. So we take them on a visit to the Donga district and show them what like a progressive, enlightened society looks like, yeah.
Shit of bull. Svenland is like woman who thinks she make best cake in village hot baking contest. And then when she slice it open, it's full of piss and cum.
That's just really gross, actually.
Svenland is a teeny tiny country. With population smaller than number of people, Peter Clements is sex with his teeny tiny penis.
It's not all about size, actually.
Yes, that's what Peter Clements always claimed.
I'm talking about population size.
And I'm talking about Peter Clements' teeny...
Oh, fuck off, Ivan!
Oh, Prime Minister, please.
It's so easy to sit on your pile of money and gloat, isn't it? Shite, fucking god-awful golfer, and quite frankly, as my old man used to say, you the cunt.
Prime Minister, please.
Who is cunt?
Minister Vodovich, please.
You are fucking starving, pal.
We will see how well fed your people are when the sanctions start to bite. You think your man like big, scary wolf person terrorizing village, when actually a pathetic goose person searching puddle for tiny dropped-off penis.
Why are you so obsessed about old cocks, mate?
In Svenland, we believe like the size of your penis isn't as important as the love it contains, yeah.
Oh, fuck off,
yeah.
Okay, if everybody could just calm down.
You're so smug on golf course. Like man who fuck pig and somehow give birth to beautiful lady girl. But now you start to see, yes? The people never happy. It's never enough.
It's certainly true that Advance's popularity...
Fucking Wayne, yeah, let's with this bollocks again, shall we? Actually, you know what? Nah, fuck this. I'm done with this.
Prime Minister, please don't storm out.
No. I have had enough of you, Mr. Jeremy Donaldson, and your snide aside. You think you could make a better job of things, do you? That fucking easy, let me tell you. You is a fucking disgrace. You insinuate and edit against us and pick your headlines so people don't trust us. The sooner you roaring monsters are taken into public ownership, the happier everyone in this country will be.
Well, we've not got long until the adverts, so...
I'm sorry for the outburst, Miss Wolfe. Julia thinks very highly of you, and I know you're not the one making the editorial decisions.
Do any of you have anything you wish to add about the sanctions?
My work here is done. I like man who happy he lie down with fatty, drunk, easy girl from village inn, who discover in morning he wake up next to beautiful news reporter lady.
You know, I think it would be a terrible shame, yeah, if the people of your country were to suffer because of teenage grudges and personal rivalries, yeah.
Thank you. Prime Minister?
This country, this wonderful, civilized, creative, inventive country, we're not scared of these sanctions. There's no wolves at our door, only the best of people striving to help out. So no, Ivan, we're not afraid. In fact, I doubt we'll lose a wink of sleep because we're strong and we're well resourced and we don't back down to bullies.
And on that note, we have to wrap up.
Ministers, Prime Minister, thank you for joining us.
Hi, it's Crazy Neil here. I'm the druid, the really fluid, because I've got a solstice with the mostness. So come on down to Crazy Neil's for a crazy midsummer deal. Come down and buy some patio furniture, some garden furniture, patio furniture with some garden furniture next to it on the garden next to the patio. We've got garden furniture that looks like a cello, garden furniture that looks like a car, garden furniture that looks like garden furniture. Come on down for a crazy midsummer deal. We've got all sorts of stuff in the garden. We got fish, we got flowers, we've got dishes, we've got sacks, we've got garden plants, we've got garden ponds, we've got fronds. If you want an elephant, you can take it away in a wheelbarrow. You want it, we've got it. We've got bird ponds, we got duck ponds, we've got fire pits, we've got a whole mess of crazy frogs with water coming out of their mouths. This is a crazy deal from a crazy midsummer deal. Gnome from gnome, home from home. We got more than 7 gnomes, because we've got men with trombones. We've got reclining giants. We've got crazy garden gnomes with glasses. What's all that about? If you've got a loved one and you want them buried in your back garden, come on down to Crazy Neil, because we've got a headstone for you. And guess what? It's 50% off engraving. I'm not even making a profit. I'm making a loss. Get on out to the Crazy Neil Deal Summer Deal Show. Yeah!
Welcome back. I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus!
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honour to be here on your show, The News. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand. You
But yeah, but like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died tragically. Right there in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale. What a tale. You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Well, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, the government. Advance. Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah. Nah, of course, man. Very much so. I just mean, like, why do I have to pay for it, you know?
You don't. People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah, I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children? Mr. Cheese Slice?
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of a...
Or maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh, no. I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah. You love it.
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First, you're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay back.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel elation from your participation. Still two leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Julie S require a massive mansion? So all your schemes, I don't need your freaky team, and I don't need your help to achieve my dreams. So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise, of the crest of the wave, cause we're only equal people when we're slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' mother head, cause he's fit, cause he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to storm the castle with a pitchfork. So this is for the snub ones, the push and the shove ones, the folks that feel the burden ones who had plenty like a mum. The ones who now finding that their bank accounts are empty. The ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation. The ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise, serve the crest of the ways, cause we're only equal people when we're gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' head, cause he's thick as shit, got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your arms in the streets, set a fire in the building, let him feel some heat. Say you hate to go getters, you're squilling bed letters, and burn them on the paras of fucking letters. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' head, cause he's thick, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to storm the castle with a pitchfork. Chase that dream, you don't need a team, and advances little dances aren't as harmless as it seems, cause they're stale and corrupt, then your anger erupt, led your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs and an attempt was made to censor some of your lyrics.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
Well, a bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm multi-billionaire Sophia Remington, and you wish you could be me. Recently, I put an idea to my science guys, and they said it couldn't be done. So I fired those guys, and I got myself some new ones. And today, I'm pleased to announce that we, at Remington's Fist, have come up with a solution to a problem all globe hoppers share.
Remington, 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 Remington's Fist.
Jeez, I love our foreign vacations, Janet, but I just hate flying.
I know what you mean, Brad. It takes so long and it can be pretty scary.
Well, let's face it, it's pretty inefficient, Janet, going all the way around the planet. There has to be a better way.
Don't worry, young professionals. Now there is. Why go round our beautiful planet when you can go straight through it? Imagine a system of mass transit elevators running through the center of the Earth. Now you're thinking moves. My mobile orientation operational burrowing service will change the way you travel forever. And construction has already begun. I'm Sophia Remington. And when they tell me it can't be done, I make it happen even faster. Welcome back. And no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
Too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Raven, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to training sometimes. He's actually a pretty good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you like to spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation? How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Well, after the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It's like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris, Jesus, that was hard.
It's catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son. But you're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells!
Yeah.
Wow. Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show, then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or godforsaken soap opera or, God forbid, a pantomime. But, you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show?
Oh, good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable. He was our rock.
Can you give us a sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
You'll never take the sacred pass! And am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, was actually a lifesaver, really.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale. Yeah.
Which, frankly, would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
Goodness, and you do this every night?
Absolutely. It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaning of my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation.
And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Yes, it's unbelievable, Megan.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt you'll have taken our jobs.
Yeah.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
Here at Advance, we know you're worried about the future. This territory is changing fast, and that makes other countries uncomfortable. But that won't stop us. And we intend to make sure that in these challenging times, every citizen gets their fair share of the abundant, nutritious food we grow right here in the territory. Your entitlements book will be coming to you by post in the next few days, and it will let you claim enough food for the week every week at one of our many new distribution centres. Everyone will get their fair share, and no one will be left behind. So you can carry on coming together to enjoy life and make wonderful memories. Because we've shown our international friends what's possible when we all pool our resources and come together in a sense of team spirit. So don't worry about what the rest of the world thinks. Save your concern for those around you, your family, friends, and neighbours, and have confidence that the team will keep you safe from all the rest. Advance. Let's keep on setting a shining example together.
Members of the general public for a special heatwave edition of Your Part of Town. That's followed at 7:30 by a double bill of movies as we show Alabama Jones and the Last of the Nazis, followed by its controversial sequel, Alabama Jones 2, Whoops, Looks Like I Missed a Few, at 9:15. Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey will be chatting with a 6-year-old chess prodigy at 11:30, before the weather and close down at just after midnight. But first, let's go over to Jeremy Donaldson for the National Nightly News.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Siege mentality. The World Council today established a military blockade to enforce the unjust and punitive sanctions now entering their 10th week. In a statement from team headquarters a short time ago, Prime Minister Julia Salisbury issued a commanding response to this unprovoked escalation.
The regrettable decision taken by the World Council this morning have left the citizens of this country isolated and fearful. But Advance have prepared for this day. Our stockpiles are large, our wealth is unfathomable, and we will defend our citizens with every last breath from this latest brutal and calculated act of war. We are with you, one team, indivisible and strong. Thank you.
Match day. Reformed bad boy Johnny Hamsleeves was seen out in public today for the first time since leaving rehab. The rehabilitated former sports star was photographed returning to public life, looking like a new man this morning as he shopped with friends. Ever since his crowd-pleasing appearance on the Whitney Chitmack show, the rumour mill has been wondering if a new relationship might be on the cards. Sources close to Johnny say a romance with ex-teammate Eric Justin would be no surprise and was common knowledge in the locker room. Though judging by the team's recent form, they may be the only ones scoring. In it to win it, exciting news from Advance today with the announcement of a new monthly prize draw for all team membership card holders. Every month, lucky winners from across the country will be picked at random to receive what Team HQ are describing as unique prizes worth more than money used to be. Take-up on the scheme has been much higher than expected, and if this lucky winner's delighted face is anything to go by, it looks like pretty soon everyone's going to have one. Hellhole, as construction on the hotly disputed Moobs project is halted by the discovery of an ancient burial ground. Speculation today as to the nature of the corporation's next move. The revelation that the transport system was being built through a site of such spiritual and cultural significance rocked Remington's fist last night. Pictured here arriving for a board meeting this morning, contentious CEO Sophia Remington is expected to announce the future of the project later today. Looking decidedly determined and just a touch obstinate, the Maverick CEO is expected to say that the project is about building the future, not respecting the past. Reports that Sophia referred to warnings of an ancient curse as priceless are unconfirmed. Fungi or fundi? As their supplies dwindle, the scientists of Dante's Taint have had to supplement their food stores with more unconventional cuisine. After funding was pulled due to public outrage, all attempts to rescue the researchers have now been abandoned. But David and Ingrid's joint team are not going down without a fight and have begun to experiment with the available food sources. Trufflewonga aquatica, known locally as Forsborg and Horgan's weed, has become a key part of the scientists' diet, despite the lack of knowledge as to its long-term effects. Let's hope they don't sprout any unwanted Forsborg and Horgan life during wartime. As if we didn't have enough aggressors on our borders, internal problems are growing for the government as radical activist group Disrupt caused chaos in Parliament Park last night. Scuffles broke out after the protest, resulting in multiple arrests and the injury of 3 community cohesion officers. Advance have yet to comment. The reckless fire will certainly be remembered by all those who have seen these striking images. As their actions escalate, people across the country are asking themselves, who are Disrupt and what exactly do they want, other than a new box of matches? All this, and I'll be talking to some people with fascinating medical conditions, as well as one of the contenders in this year's Feline Football Championship and her proud owner. That's all up on tonight's National Nightly News. But first tonight, our team of correspondents has been dispatched to every corner of the country to see how the people of this great nation of ours are coping with this unprecedented hot weather. First, let's go to Megan Wolf in Shining-on-Sea to see what the scientific community has to say. Megan, how's the weather there?
It's absolutely glorious, Jeremy. Thank you for asking. I'm here with Dr. Anna Burns of the University of Princeford. Are you enjoying the weather as much as I am?
Oh, yes, it's wonderful, isn't it? My eyelids are sweating.
And you're part of a team carrying out a study into just what's causing this unbelievable heat, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we want to be able to reassure the public once and for all that there's absolutely nothing to worry about and that they can enjoy their sunstroke and fossil fuels in peace.
You sound very confident about that.
Oh, very much so. I can say without any hesitation, there's really no cause for any concern here. I've actually left my car running.
So tell us about this experiment.
Well, we take data from weather stations from all over the world, along with atmospheric samples, and we take all that and we feed it into this state-of-the-art computer, and very soon we'll be getting a high-tech readout of the results.
Blimey, that sounds very fancy.
I should just say, none of this would be possible without the generous support of Remington's Fist. This is all thanks to their unrivaled investment in our future, and may I just say, complimentary personal anecdote. Oh, here we go. And, as expected, everything is absolutely fucked. Hang on. This can't be right.
Right, but obviously you said a second ago that everything is absolutely fine, so, you know.
Well, actually, under concern level, it just says, why, God, why?
We should be celebrating these wonderful results, I think.
There we are. We need to evolve gills within 40 years.
You look thirsty.
Shit.
Look at you. This is meant to be a celebration. Much better. Can I just say thank you again to Sophia Remington for providing all of this.
Everyone, we don't have long. Time is running out.
It's running out. Absolutely right. That is all we have time for.
Abandon hope and return to the forest.
There you are.
Enjoy that.
I'd like to thank Dr. Burns for just one opinion on the climate.
The sea will reclaim us all.
There you have it, Jeremy. Proof, if proof be need be, that everything is just fine. I'm Megan Wolf, here with science. Back to you.
Megan Wolf there, attempting to do some actual news. Next, it's over to Robin Short, who's in Scritchford with some of the winners of this week's team membership lottery. Robin?
Thanks, Jeremy. I'm here in Scritchford with Gary Failsafe, a janitor at the local school, and Amelia Jackhammer, an aspiring poet. Both of you were drawn at random from those who hold team membership cards to receive this week's amazing prize. How do you feel?
Filled with fervent euphoria.
Yeah, good, yeah.
And all that we had to do was fill in a quick form or two.
Wow, that sounds so convenient. But we're all dying to know, what have you won?
That's right, Robin. I've won with Julia Salisbury at one of the capital's top restaurants.
Ooh, swanky.
And I've been invited to Peter Clement's house to help him dredge the gutter in.
That's absolutely terrific. You must both be over the moon.
I've written a poem about it.
So, can you tell me about the moment when you first heard the news?
Well, I was battling against a particularly difficult floater, probably one of the sixth formers, when the headmaster came and found me.
I was involved in a similarly brutal conflict with a particularly arduous stanza.
So you were both polishing turds?
No, I don't like to polish them. I like to keep them intact for my collection.
Oh! How unexpected.
I don't polish turds. I write poetry.
Potato, potato. So, Gary...
Do you think Peter Clement's going to let me keep the contents of his downpipe?
There's no harm in asking, I suppose.
Would you like to hear one?
No, thank you. Gary, when you signed up for team membership, was it in hopes of winning the lottery, or were there other reasons?
I like a flutter, of course, but no, the boss said I had to sign up to keep coming into school.
Very sensible. It's important to know who we're trusting around our children.
Oh, I have an unpublished book of sonnets about children. Perhaps you'd like to hear one.
No!
Or an anthology of haikus on the death of innocence.
I'd rather hear about Gary's turd collection.
Really? I thought you might say that.
Oh. Oh.
Are you all right?
Yes, it's coming. It's inspiration and it's delicious.
Right you are.
Today on the show, there's no news. Just a man who keeps multiple poos.
Here, this big one's my favourite. See how it's fibrous, really lovely texture.
Would you encourage other people to enter for their chance to win?
If it's colour you're looking for, take a gander at old Blue Eyes here.
The national news lost its way when it covered some crap on a tray.
Some of these are quite rare.
Maybe that was unfair.
And that's all we have time for today. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Robin. What a lucky pair they are. And finally in this segment, it's over to Patrick Bannon, who's gone to the smelliest town in the country to see how the unprecedented weather is affecting the locals. Patrick?
Hello there, Jeremy. Hello, yes. I'm here live in Grizzleford, which has recently voted the smelliest town in the country. And I have to say that, you know, in this heat, the smell really is. I mean, it's something else. Barry Lardons, mate, you've lived here your whole life. How'd you put up with the stink?
Well, we're just all very proud of our achievement, to be honest with you.
Can tell that. Look at him, proud as punch.
Do you know what it's like, son, being the second smelliest town?
No, I don't.
Living in the shadow of Arseminster, smug fucks. But who's laughing now, eh?
Tell you what, not me, that's for sure. So what happened, mate?
Right, the good people from Remington's Fist came in and saved the day with their factory.
You're talking, of course, about the newly built Flard factory.
Yeah, they gave us this big presentation on jobs and growth. But as soon as we heard about the stench, we paid them whatever they wanted to put it here.
Does the stink not affect your life in every way, Barry? I mean, perhaps if you're filling in a tax return or completing the physical act of love.
It's strong at first, but you get used to it after several weeks of your first bout of sickness. The judges were very impressed.
So, what's sickness?
Oh, that's nothing to worry about. It takes a few minutes before you develop any symptoms. Now, folk are saying something about the production line and how they dump carcasses directly into the water main, but I think it's probably the fume valves on the high street.
On the high street? Should I see a doctor? What are the symptoms?
Well, the first one is asking stupid questions. Then folk experience a lot of
Fuck off, do they? When was the last time you brushed your teeth, you stinking old tramp?
Next recording is a period of randomly bursting into song, followed immediately by delusions of grandeur.
Oh, that's not really a problem. I've never sung in my life. Hello, it's sexy Patrick Bannon, and he's wearing sexy shorts now. Oh my God, look at me. I'm like a stallion. I'm gorgeous. Why didn't you tell me? I should take my shirt off. You know what? I'll even let you touch me if you want.
That will be the bout of undeserved self-confidence.
Love the Bannon, feel the Bannon. Oh, mate, what's the point?
And the ennui. All that's left now are the hallucinations and unconsciousness.
Nano Dotty? Was that you? Why are you made out of elbows? You know I don't eat opinions.
Oh, don't worry, folks. Once he wakes up, he'll be just fine. We'll just find a place to stick him where it won't matter how many times he evacuates his bowels. Right, that's all here from Grizzleford, a town that's really making a stink. I'm Barry Lardons. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Barry. With a naval blockade being set up around our coastline as we speak, when we come back, I'll be talking to 3 members of the general public who appear to be here purely for medical reasons. Don't go away. Unless, of course, you've got something better to do. We'll be back after these messages.
Our society has never been fairer. From the food that we eat to the education, transition and community cohesion services we all enjoy. Finally, by working as a team, we have raised living standards and are the envy of an increasingly jealous world. And with these newfound luxuries come new opportunities for those who have put the needs of the team before their own. From this month, everyone who is registered for a team membership card will automatically be entered into a lottery to win life-enhancing prizes. And why wouldn't you register? After all, the team membership card is your passport to your world-class public services, and it's absolutely free. Just be sure to have your team membership card with you at all times. It really is that simple. After all, how can we help you if we don't know who you are? Team membership cards. Look after the team, and the team will look after you.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, your host, Jeremy Donaldson. Later, we'll be talking to the captain of the Territory's first cat football team, Professor Pumpkin. But first, I'm joined by 3 guests with some balmy bodily behaviours. Joining me is a woman who's been hiccuping for over 9 months. Isn't that right, Miss Piercy?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Tell us, what brought all this on?
Well, it's all a bit of a blur, Jeremy, to be totally frank with you. So I was watching your show and I remember seeing the news about the election and it hasn't stopped since.
Fascinating stuff. Also here is Frankie Steampipe. Perhaps you could explain to us exactly what your physiological foible is.
I'm here to say it's high time people like me were respected. We're constantly overlooked in the workplace, we're whispered about on buses, and we're asked politely to leave children's birthday parties. And it's disgusting. I'm sorry, my bowels have comic timing.
And finally, I'm joined by a man who answers every question honestly, even when it isn't aimed at him. How do you cope with that, Mr. Truman?
With a combination of booze, self-hatred, and hardcore pornography.
Is that right?
Not according to my therapist.
Well, in that case, let's speak to Rose. Tell me, how does the hiccuping impact you?
I get shushed a lot, which is hard. It's really affected my confidence.
Well, I find it really irritating.
Do people tend to believe your story?
No.
Actually, I've been surprised at how much support I've received.
And Frankie, why have you come here today?
Because my wife left me and I was hoping that the fame would win her back.
We've started a group for people with ailments deemed broadly comical by society. It's called Take Us Seriously.
That's right. And we bloody well mean it.
And who's joined so far?
A bunch of losers.
It's just us so far.
And how much success have you had?
Well, we've seen some real positive changes.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's been a runaway success.
Not a single person come to our fun run, and all of our leaflets fell in the canal.
Well, Miss Piercy, some people are saying your condition was actually caused by the shocking events of that night. What do you think?
Come now, Mr. Donaldson, that's absolute rubbish.
What'd it be like to have a pair of
Could you? I'm sorry, it's very hot. What was I thinking?
that you're a team
No.
or a sellout?
Apologies. Just a reminder that he can't help it. And hey, if this isn't live television, then what is it?
Propaganda masquerading as journalism.
Right, Frankie, Rose, tell us, how can the viewers get involved with your cause?
Yes, we're holding a sponsored run in Capital Park next weekend. It's called the No Smiles 13 Miles.
No, it's called the No Laugh Half. What did I say before the show?
That it was the team pulling Jeremy Donaldson's strings.
No, I didn't say.
Oh, wow,
didn't say
we
that.
may have to end that there, unfortunately. What a harmless bit of fun.
Steady on! This is exactly what I'm talking about. We demand respect.
Yes, well, later, I'll be talking to Professor Pumpkin, a ginger tabby with a world-class pair of penalty paws. Is that really necessary?
No, it isn't. Let go. Not you.
Unhand him at once.
Enough! That's enough! Enough!
What are you doing?
Trying not to myself.
Alex, cut.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare cut to the ads before I tell you to. Now, you in the broadcast centre, Bozeman's little scapegoat, you listen to me. You cut to the ads before I tell you to, and I will kill every single person in this studio.
Jeremy, think about what
I am thinking about what I'm doing. I've been thinking about it for a long time. We all should be. Christ, it's so hot in here. Do you remember when we used to do the real news before it was all lottery winners and bloody cat football. We are on the brinks of a siege the likes of which the world hasn't seen in hundreds of years. The enemy is at the gates, and I'm stuck here talking to these three idiots.
I think my hiccups have stopped.
You three, get the out of my studio. Go on, now, go, before I change my mind. Jenny, lock the doors. Lock the doors.
Yes, Jeremy.
Now. Good. Yes. Now. Right then. You in the broadcast centre. Alex, you listen to me. You pay attention. Now, I'm sure you've already loaded up exactly what you're going to play in the commercial, but today is going to be a little bit different. Look to your right. Yes, really. Look to your right. There is a VHS tape, and I want you to load it into one of the machines, and when I say so, and not before, you play it. You've got about 15 seconds, so I wouldn't waste any time. Now, all cameras, all of you, on me. When we come back, we're going to do the fucking news. And because every single thing that comes out of this studio is either one-sided or banal, we're going to show the other side for a bit of balance, like the good old days. Alex, play the fucking tape.
Good evening. You know who we are. You've seen our symbols on your walls. You've heard them talk about us on the news. We are Disrupt. We are the Resistance. It's time you knew the truth. You know Advance are lying to you. You know the elderly are not a burden. You know the rich were not all evil. And you know the team membership card is an ID card, no matter what they try to tell you. But why should you trust us? Another faceless organization. A shadowy figure with a distorted voice. You've seen it so many times in the movies. Well, this is not a movie.
My name is Alan James. I used to try and shock people for a living, for entertainment. But now we live in a time where perhaps you need to be shocked. Perhaps we need to wake up. Advance are coming for our freedoms. They are coming for the fruits of our labours. They will take our wealth. They will euthanize our parents and smiling throughout. They will turn our children against us if we voice our concerns. But you don't have to accept it. A great many people already won't. You can resist. You can disrupt. Find us. Talk with us. Join us. It isn't hard. We're everywhere.
This was unexpected.
So what now, Jeremy?
It was supposed to be your day off.
God, please, don't do any more stupid things today.
How long? How long, Jenny?
We're already live.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Joining me, unexpectedly, for what I very much imagine will be my last broadcast, are two new guests. Jenny works here at the National Nightly News and is someone I consider, well, a friend. And next to her is... What's your name?
Andy.
Andy's a policeman. Only we don't call him that anymore. He's a community cohesion official.
Officer.
Sorry?
It's community cohesion officer, CCO.
And how's that feel, Andy? Being rebranded?
It's good. it's not about confrontation anymore. You know, the force had its fair share of problems. The team doesn't have as many.
But it still has some.
Oh, I couldn't say.
Couldn't or wouldn't?
I don't know what you want me to say.
Christ, you're useless, aren't you? We'll come back to you later. Jenny?
I don't want to be on the news, Jeremy.
That's perfectly understandable. Who'd want to do this? Jenny, why did you join the National Nightly News team?
I always wanted to work in news.
Yes, but why specifically this programme? The National Nightly News.
It was the news everyone trusted.
Was?
Is. Do you really want to quibble semantics at gunpoint?
Is there something else you'd rather discuss?
Well, there is a great big Alan James-sized elephant in the room you seem to be ignoring.
What do you mean?
I saw your face when that hood came down. You didn't know, did you?
It's about the message, not the messenger.
Like I said, you didn't know.
No, I didn't know. The people I met were with, he wasn't there. I didn't know it was Alan James.
I'm sorry, but seriously, Alan James, you're flushing your life down the toilet for... God, I love you, Jeremy, but...
He's a good speaker. He's popular in the country.
That right?
Look, forget Alan James. There is still something deeply wrong. And you know it, Jenny. And you know it, Andy. And you at home, you know it too. Meanwhile, I'm interviewing a guest who stinks of Patrick is paddling about in shit. And Robin is literally interviewing someone who collects the stuff. I mean, it's not sophisticated, but what a metaphor. We are sleepwalking our way into oppression, and the news isn't saying anything. We're not saying anything.
Says who? Alan James.
What are all those scientists working on at Grantham Downs? What are they testing underground at Altergrave? Andy, your turn. Make yourself useful. How many people have you brought in for consultations just because they weren't carrying or didn't have team membership cards?
Oh, well, there's other forms of identification that we will accept.
For how long?
We're just here to help.
Then why do you need these? Not really help when it's offered at gunpoint, is it, Andy? Let me demonstrate it for you. Let me help you. You eat these cards with my notes on it, and you'll probably digest a fact. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it, Andy? Knowing a fact?
What? I don't understand.
Do you want my help,
Yes,
Andy?
yes, whatever you say, yes.
Security are here, Jeremy.
Eat it.
What?
Eat the news, Andy, or I'll force it down your throat.
Jeremy, stop.
Go on.
Really?
Eat it. Eat it, you bully.
Jeremy, stop. They will kill you. Please, don't make me watch that.
Of course. You're right. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. You can put the card down now, Andy. You can go now. You too, Jenny. Off over there. We're nearly done. All cameras on me. This new regime of ours is so seductive. I understand that. But before we all hand off our freedoms, should we ask to whom we're handing them over? Don't you want to know what's being done in your name? How many people were transitioned last month? A record high. Again, if you care. Shouldn't someone ask Advance how they plan to deal with this blockade? How many years or months of supplies we have? Why aren't we asking these questions instead of whose is this? There's a cat backstage dressed as a goalie, for Christ's sake. He's even got the little gloves. Anyway, that's why I arranged for you to see that broadcast in the last break. I didn't know it was going to be him, but I guess that just about sums it up. We are all a creek with a paddle made of Alan fucking James. Christ, it's all so pointless. I was going to quit tonight. Take a holiday. Try something else. Out of the limelight. Maybe try having a relationship. I hear they're nice. Never tried it. I loved the news. And now, well...
God, Jeremy, don't!
I've tried my best to be honest with you, but this just isn't the news anymore. And I'm
Cut to the
sorry.
ads!
I've lost this fight.
Alex! Cut to the ads!
I've let you down.
Please, we can't show
All
this.
of
Cut to the ads!
Hi, it's Crazy Neil with our mega hot sunny summer deal. The prices are heating up, but the temperature's going down. Or it's the other way around. We don't know. We've got dingoes. We've got gringos. Give me the flamingo, guys. I know the prices are mental. If you're boiling hot and you're thinking, I need to get cool, I need to get down to Neil's because we've got the aircon on. We're serving up ice creams to all the customers, but our prices are dropping faster than a kid with a cold. It's on the floor. Yes, they're dropping every day. We've got crazy artificial paddling poles, ornamental paddling poles, big poles, little poles, any ground catching nets. Well, I don't care what you think. I'm gonna drop them even further. We got rubber rings for pets. We got rubber rings for you. We got rubber rings for them. We got rubber rings for her. Are you the managing director? No. We got everything from pina coladas, lifeboat starters, ladies on lilos. We got men in silos. If your favorite hobby is ice sculpting, whilst the outside is boiling, we can let you sculpt dragons. We can let you sculpt flagons. We can let you sculpt icebergs. Whatever the temperature is doing, we got a fan. You don't care? You're fired. Hey. So come on down to the Crazy Neil Long Hot Summer Deal Steal.
6:30, it's Ration Kitchen with Jordan Rankley. And tonight he'll be screaming at some pensioners while they try and fashion a nutritious meal out of a can of condensed milk, a cow's tongue, and some rhubarb. Not one to miss. At 7 p.m, it's a look back to happier times with part 8 of our acclaimed documentary series, The First 365, which looks at the astonishing progress made by Advance as we begin what is only their second year in office. At 8:30 p.m, it's over to Patrick Bannon for all the day's sports board highlights, including all the tabletop action from the semi-finals of Pro Amateur Sports Board, the Sports Board Sports Board Game. At 9, it's our nightly war report from the late news team, followed at 9:25 by our unsettling play, When Katie Went Abroad, which tells the cautionary tale of one brave young lady's battles to survive the cruel administrations of our neighbours. At 11:25, it's Incisors. And tonight, Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey will be getting his teeth into Fiona from Hamble Bamblebury, who has invented a tasty twist on the humble biscuit. And that takes us, after the weather and public information film, into our close down. But first tonight, it's time to join Megan and the team for the National Nightly News.
Good evening, this is the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolfe. It's the 140th day of war. Our main headlines tonight. Company of Heroes. Skirmishes on land and sea again today as our armed forces tested the mettle of the World Council's illegal blockade. Advance's strategy of multiple small-scale incursions into the disputed zone is certainly keeping the enemy on high alert, unable to work out where or when the next strike will come. Proud parents throughout the territory find themselves ever more impressed by the bravery and commitment of their incredible children and the job they're doing keeping supply lines open against all possible odds. Don't starve. Advance's food programme moved from strength to strength today as rationing depots were opened in the last remaining unfed areas of the territory. The rationing depots have been constructed in record time, and the government's agricultural coordination strategy has seen shelves restocked with increasing regularity. And judging by the looks on this happy family's faces, it can't come a moment too soon. They'll be getting a good meal tonight on the government, just like the rest of us. 7 days to die. The recent decision to allow those with long-term health conditions to access transition centres has today been declared an overwhelming success. Previously available only to those in their final years, the expansion of the service has been met with relief by the many organisations calling for it to be opened up to the wider community. The transition centres have reported larger than expected numbers, but report that they are coping well and able to provide a complete and meaningful service to all who choose to use it. Populace. More than 11% of the population have thus far failed to register for a team membership card, a worrying statistic given that the cards are a legal requirement from midnight tonight. It's up to the other 89% of us to remind our tardy friends that not taking advantage of all the exclusive services available to cardholders is now, as it should be, absolutely criminal. Start Me Up. Disrupt spokesman Alan James held an impromptu rally today in the northern city of Mankypool. Large crowds gathered to hear the band speaker prove Disrupt are still able to capture the public's imagination. A representative from the Mankypool Community Cohesion Team described the event as mostly peaceful, but it looks like Disrupt aren't going quietly. And finally tonight, our mutual friend. Bail was denied in the High Court today for shamed former national nightly news anchor Jeremy Donaldson. The presenter will be transferred to new lodgings at Pendron Ridge Prison while the lengthy preparations for his trial, which is still 18 months away, begin. Since being taken into custody 10 weeks ago in this very studio, little has been heard from our former colleague. Despite how things ended, we wish him the best and will be sure to bring you all the details of that court case every night. But first this evening, with the war about to enter its 21st punishing week and people hurting up and down the country, I'll be grilling unpredictable Prime Minister Peter Clement in an exclusive interview from his home in Lancashire. That's coming up on tonight's National Nightly News. I'm a little overexcited to announce I'll be interviewing the one and only Lil C. And later we've got a new feature that's sure to keep you coming back for more. But first tonight, let's check in with Prime Minister Peter Clement, who's speaking to us from his home in Lanford. Good evening, Prime Minister. Have we caught you exercising?
Oh, have we started? Yes, that's right, Miss Wolf. Just a few minor adjustments. I mean, nothing drastic. I haven't joined the gym or anything. As my old man used to say, just because take it up the shit, it doesn't mean you shouldn't try for a quick fiddle up the car park.
Language, Prime Minister.
What? Quick fiddle? What's wrong? Oh, shitter. Shitter, isn't it? Yep, that's the one.
And can you tell us what...
Today, I spoke to the people of Mankypool. And when I was finished, I stuck around. And I did something I would never have done in my old life. I listened. I listened to Jean, who told me that although she has financial security for her and her family for the first time in her life, she finds also, for the first time, that she can no longer sleep peacefully at night.
She was in flood of tears. And she says, PC, she said, I couldn't go on without you. She said. So I made a decision. And since that day, I have stopped smoking cigars. Except for Christmas. Not birthdays. Weddings. State dinners. That's what I say. I can't as useless running backwards doesn't go anywhere. And apparently I'm going on a walking holiday this Christmas, and that should finish me off for bloody good.
Did you make the decision to holiday within the country this winter because of the blockade, Prime Minister?
Well, Mrs. C has never liked travelling at the best of times. These are certainly not the best of times, on that we can all agree. There's a lot of red tape involved in leaving the territory at the moment, as I'm sure you're all aware. Some of the is a bastard long.
All in it together.
What? All in it together! Oh, yeah. Also, it doesn't seem very advanced to be going abroad when the rest of the country is grounded.
And yet Julia Salisbury announced today that she'll be visiting Svenland during this year's winter break. Is that really an example of team spirit?
What? Did you know about it?
Jeremy Donaldson is to be put on trial. Let's all think about that for a moment. One of the nation's most respected and beloved truth seekers is to be put on trial. And for what? Waving a gun around he clearly had no intention of ever using. That Jeremy Donaldson had a very public breakdown is undeniable, but rather than law enforcement, wouldn't medical experts be the one to call? Of course, that was never going to Jeremy Donaldson had a very public breakdown because he simply couldn't take what Advance were doing anymore. He knew that the national nightly news was being transformed from a bastion of truth into a frivolous chat show. And like a mother watching her child fall under a predator's spell, he couldn't stand by and allow that to happen. He chose to stand up to Advance, and their response will be to destroy him. He will be discredited, shamed, tried and convicted. They will break him as an example to us all. But today, Disruptors named him an officer in absentia. We welcome him to our ranks.
Oh, fucking plans!
Well, that's good. That's good to know, Prime
Do you
Minister.
know, I used to really like you, Pat. You were a breath of fresh air. But I've been watching you, and you know what? You get more like him every day.
I will take that as a compliment. Prime Minister, later on this evening, your co-leader Julia Salisbury is going to give a national address from team headquarters. Can you give us a hint of what she's going to say?
Yes. Well, I imagine that there
Sorry,
will be
sorry, you
the
imagine?
usual... no, what I mean is...
You do know about this broadcast, don't you, Prime Minister?
Well, I'm sure I did. But Julia and I have no secrets from each other. We don't memorize each other's bloody diaries either. As my old mum used to say, if you wanted to get a job done quick, don't get down in the pubes. What else you got?
Sorry?
Only cards. What else? A little piece of my life you want to rustle through? Get out. Refill my glass. Sir. Ah, come on. Come on.
Okay. What music do you listen to when you work out?
Well, Gail tells me that I work out to Little C, but I absolutely no fucking idea what that is. Do you think the C stands for...
It stands for collaborative, Prime Minister.
Yeah, actually, that does make more sense, actually.
How's rationing affecting you?
It's hard, but we get by. You just have to learn to get by on the basics. Take comfort in each other. I've got Mrs. C and many a fine single malt. I want for nothing. Except for a decent night's sleep, of course.
Prime Minister, thank you for joining us. When we come back, it's time for the Culture Spot with Lil C and a world premiere performance of her new song. I genuinely can't wait to hear that. We'll be back after this.
The enemy is all around us. A frightened world that looks at what we have achieved and dares not let it succeed. They have tried to starve us, but as a team, we have grown food enough for all. They have tried to hurt us, to cut off our medicines, but as a team, we have offered radical, compassionate solutions. And they have tried to scare us, to rob us of power and leave us in the dark. But as a team, we have lit a fire so bright that they will never quench it. We are at war with a brutal foreign enemy, against leaders who do not even treat their own people with the dignity and love that we have come to expect as standard. And if these leaders can sit idly by while their own people starve, well, whatever would they do to us should we lose? That is why it is vital that we pull together, that we encourage and educate our family, friends and neighbours so that they too embrace this new future. Because a team can only succeed when it pulls in the same direction. And while we certainly wouldn't call dissenting voices treasonous, we would raise an eyebrow at those who can't find it within themselves to show even a little team spirit. Advance. Together, we cannot lose this war. So join the winning team.
Thanks for coming back. But first, I'm really excited for our next guest. She rose to prominence as the delightful Susie May in All My Daughter's Children's Men, before taking the music industry by storm this year with her debut album smashing the chart records at the age of just 20. Let's give it up and welcome Lil C! Wow, may I just say, you look incredible.
Oh, thanks, babe. I'm doing this new regime and it really does work.
Ooh, what's the regime?
And my manager suggested it to me. It basically involves bathing in like cabbage water and then having the leaves sucked out of you while you sleep.
Wow, is that healthy?
Well, look at me, Meg. The leaves are my only nourishment.
Yep, they certainly are. Now, you'll have to forgive me, but I'm somewhat of a super fan, so I'm sorry if I get a bit starstruck.
Oh, bless you. I've never actually heard of you before, so if you do get a little tongue-tied, I can always carry the interview.
Oh, that's good to know. So your first album, F My Face Together, it hit shelves this summer and it just exploded. I mean, what was that like for you?
Bonkers, just so weird. I was in all the papers and the magazines. Overnight, I went from that like annoying little girl from that show to that like sexy little girl from that show.
Wow, that must have been bizarre.
Not really, it was just like any other morning. You know, get up at 5, go on a 4-mile run, have 3 meetings on my cabbage bath, but then only then was my dad actually talking to me.
Oh, of course. I mean, the famed country singer, Billy Bob Jean Short. I didn't know you'd been estranged.
There's nothing that strange about it, Megan. Okay, yes, he may believe that aliens told him to hate women, but there really isn't anything to prove that he's wrong.
Uh-huh. So, this newfound explosion into your popularity, I mean, did that change your life?
Well, I had to start wearing like nice underwear, you know, for the paparazzi, but as my manager says, best to make the most of it before I'm 30.
Is that right? So what's the album about?
So I thought it was about like how pretty and great I am, but actually it's about monetizing youth, I think, or about like promoting an unrealistic standard of beauty or something.
Your manager again.
Yeah, he says insecurity is an opportunity.
Oh, do you think he'd be happy with you telling us all this?
Telling you all what? It really doesn't matter what I say here. I'll do my dance soon and then this part will all be forgotten about.
Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to see some of those famous dance moves very shortly because you're going to be performing your new single, aren't you?
Yeah, it's from my album Put It In My A Together and it's out.
My friend let her 13-year-old son join the Go-Getters. He's occupied now. Busy, even. His room's never been tidier. But he keeps notebooks he won't let her read. And sometimes she catches him staring at her. And last week, she found him searching through her papers. When confronted, he always had a plausible answer, a good answer.
Blimey. All these projects, they're keeping you very busy, aren't they? It must be tough.
Yeah, it can get tough and I hate it sometimes and I hate myself. I just want to like cry into a bath of root veg. But then I think thousands of girls would do anything to be me, so I must be quite lucky.
Well, you know you don't have to do this though, don't you?
Yeah, I do think that sometimes. Most nights, between like my 4th vodka and the 8th time a stranger slaps me around the arse, I think things could have been different, you know, like better. But I don't know. I love doing autographs and having somebody dress me and tell me what to wear.
Did you always want to do music?
Well, ever since I was a little girl, I did. I'd sit in front of the radio, and as soon as my favourite girl group would come on, I'd press record on my cassette. But then my dad would come in and tell me to turn it off and to go back upstairs and start practicing again.
Oh, sorry, is your dad your manager?
Yeah, which can be tough. And sometimes when it gets really hard, he'll say, "Make Quagler proud, and you might just survive childbirth."
Well, you know what? Despite anything, you'll make me proud.
Oh, if only your opinion was as valuable as his.
And on that problematic note, you're going to be singing your song for us soon, aren't you? Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
So it's called These Babies Gonna Bring You Home, and I actually got sent the lyrics in the car on the way up here. But you know what? It's actually all right. And don't worry, all my work is team approved.
All right then. Well, you can go and get ready for that. We'll see you in a little bit. It was a very specific type of pleasure to chat to her, and I just can't wait to hear this. Oh, so here is Lil C with an exclusive first performance of her new track, These Babies Gonna Bring You Home. Take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Force's favorite, the Queen of Teams, here to break in your blockades, Lil C.
Oh baby, can't you see I'm hungry? There's a place in me that's empty. I want that meat future packing. Only you can fill that crack in me. I'm under siege, so come and free me. Ain't no disruption here, boy, I got no agenda. Just want the team and me. No dirty foreign labor. Don't stop no morning drill. There's holes in me that ain't been filled yet. I only scream this loud when you do your country proud. I ain't no vicar's daughter. Come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older. Tie me down and pour me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So let them try and break our dream. We fight and love and die a team. So what a Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy. I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions. I've been this wild and free since Mama burdened me. She was only 53, but gave to save her family. There's no one judging me if I'm the one that's in your fantasy. Don't die alone, these babies gonna bring you home. I ain't no vicar's daughter. Come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older. Tie me down and pour me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So what a Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy. And flip me over, grab my hair, rip off my clothes and done from there. I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions.
Well, if that doesn't distract you from the world outside, I don't know what will. I'd like to thank Lil C for doing that. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll finally be revealing the new segment of our show that we just know you're going to love. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, it's Neil here with a pre-Christmas crazy Christmas deal. It's post-Christmas, it's pre-Christmas, it's all of the Christmas. Ho, 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 it's a sale. It's gonna go, go, go. Come on down and pull a cracker. It'll go bang in your face and you'll take whatever comes out. Yay! Christmas pineapple on a tree. Take 2 baubles, take 3. We don't care how many baubles. Take a candle. Set fire to your Christmas tree. Set fire to your life. If you're thinking Christmas is a way off, it's getting you down. Stock might be low, but the prices are lower. We've even had to get crazy creative, and we've got specials on all of the furniture with tinsel. We've got furniture without tinsel. We got Christmas furniture. We got pre-Christmas Christmas furniture. It's a cracker of a deal, a crazy deals. Yay! We got crazy Christmas dots. We got crazy Christmas dots in hats. We got crazy Christmas dots in hats and jumpers. If you're feeling hungry, don't feel down in the mouth. You can have a dog on a log. And remember, a dog isn't for life. It's just for Christmas to eat. It's a crazy deal at Crazy Neils. We've got elves on trees. We've got trees on elves. If you want to know where the elf on the shelf is, we've got elves on elves. Bend over and ready for you to take home. We got naughty Christmas nativities with naughty Christmas figurines. We got crazy Christmas nut bums. We've got crazy Christmas big bums. It's the 6 Mrs. Crazy Neil used to say to me, bang, bang, bang. She had to go, but I still love Christmas. Christmas without her is not the same, but I don't care because I'm insane. Come on down to Crazy Neils for your Christmas needs. Wife's not included.
Thanks for joining us for part 3. We've been teasing you about our new feature all night, and now The wait is finally over. I can reveal that every night on the show we'll be treated to an episode of an informative and hilarious new segment called The Notice Board. It stars some top talent and we're very excited about it. But before we see it, let's have a quick chat with the writer, director and phenomenon, may I say, Jeff Algebra, guys.
Actually, I've dropped the algebra. I go by Jeff DeCoon now. How'd you like that?
Well, yeah, very fancy. I suppose you need a new name now that you're a successful artiste.
Well, exactly. I'm earning enough to pay taxes now.
Oh.
It's shit.
And how does Angela feel about all this?
Who?
Your wife.
Oh, God, no. No, she's long gone. No, she was holding me back. I'm with Norm now. We were married last month.
Norm de Plume.
Yeah.
And why did you write this? What was your inspiration?
Oh, well, I received a telephone call offering me 25 grand to write a pro-team sitcom. And I heard my father's voice. It said, Jeff, you listen here, boy. You make hay while the sun shines. You wring every penny you can get out of this. So I wheeled him down to the transition centre, got out my typewriter and started clacking.
Wow.
Utter shite.
And without further ado, let's give it up for the notice board.
Good morning, Miss Craven.
Oh, morning, Ray.
Everything all right, Mrs. Craven? You look as worried as the vicar in closing time.
Oh, Ray, it's those young louts. They've vandalised my shop again.
No!
Yes! They've written all sorts of obscene language and crude pictures, and I know it's those damn youths.
I don't know. It could be the vicar at closing time.
I'm just worried they won't ever become productive members of the community. What if they never see the error of their ways and end up as social outcasts, such as shoplifters or bong rats?
Don't worry, Mrs. Craven. This is a very supportive community, and I'm sure that in time they will fit into this society like this key into this lock. See? Works like a charm.
What a lovely way to put it, Ray. And just like that, we can unlock their future.
Yes. Wow! Look at all the letters in my collection today.
Oh, I think that one's addressed to me.
What? This one? Oh, so you're right. Here it is.
It's a letter from my granddaughter, Brenda. She says she got an A on her maths exam because one of her friends has been helping her. She was always a team player, was our Brenda.
What's up, losers? Hey?
Oh, no. It's Brad. He's the coolest guy in the village.
That's right. I just got here on my motorbike.
Oh, clear off, Brad. We don't want any of your ilk around here.
What? Rad dudes?
No, ruffians. Have you come to tag the notice board with your gang signs?
No way. I've actually come to pin my resume on that notice board. I'm looking to do some tutoring after school.
What? Did you say tutoring?
That's right. Maths is very important. Would you mind, Ray?
Not at all.
So you, a young person, have been spending your time helping others and not just urinating on churches or huffing glue?
Hey, I haven't huffed glue for months.
Well, blow me down!
You know what? We misjudged you based on how young and cool you are and not on your actions.
No doy.
So it wasn't you who vandalised my shop last night or called me a rancid old crone from the back of a chopper?
No way. It can't have been me. I was too busy helping my friend Brenda with her maths homework.
Can't you split up there? I thought for a minute there that you said Brenda.
I did, you daft old sow.
Did you hear that, Ray?
Oh, yes, what a wonderful surprise. I now respect you as a man.
Put her there, Ray. Oh, what the heck? Give us a hug.
Sorry to interrupt the first groundbreaking episode of the notice board, but we are receiving some breaking news. I'm being told we are picking up reports from across the continent of what appear to be... what appear to be nuclear explosions in 4 major foreign cities. Initial estimates put the death toll into... they put them into millions. I'm being told we're experiencing some power shortages as a result, so apologies for the interruption. Quarters for an emergency broadcast from Prime Minister Julia Salisbury any moment. Yes, let's go to that now.
Good evening, citizens and leaders of the world. Minutes ago, operatives working for Advance detonated nuclear explosives simultaneously in 4 major cities across the continent. We have similar devices in 58 other urban centres and will not hesitate to detonate them if our conditions are not met in full and without delay. The people of our territory will no longer tolerate your illegal and genocidal blockade. You are to remove it immediately. We will accept nothing less than your unconditional surrender. Your territories will be taken under our control. We will install replacement governments to ensure that your citizens become part of the new...
Can we get this verified? I need this verified.
Now, our borders. Your people are our people. They will finally be fed and clothed and educated and healed. But for your privileged few, the moment that they feared is now upon them. Allow me to be crystal clear. If you fire a single shot at our territory or harm a single one of our citizens, we will not hesitate to detonate further devices.
None of us did.
Then no doubt you are already searching for them. Our technology is decades ahead of yours. We will expect your complete acceptance of our terms by midnight tonight. Thank you.
I don't really talk about my personal life in my job. It's not relevant or important. So many of you may be surprised to learn that I have a brother. His name is David. And right now, I can't get his stupid face out of my head. He's a researcher and he's currently travelling the continent for work. And I don't know where he is right now. And I should imagine that there are many of you sitting at home tonight digesting this news, and you also have loved ones on the continent, in Urkistan, or Havia, or San Palmerino, or Konislava, which is where David was when I last spoke to him 3 days ago. So when I tell you I know how you are feeling tonight, believe me, I do. But I also know that there's a flow to events. I see it every day here. I know that although tonight it feels like we may be in a time of fear and darkness, we may actually be at the break of a new dawn. We don't know that yet. We can't know that yet, but together we will find out. And I will be here every night, feeling what you are feeling. And with your help, maybe we can all get to that brave new world. My name's Megan Wolfe. Let's make tomorrow better.
When my husband became CEO of PleasureCorps, I wondered what the advantages would be for me. Well, now I'm aboard the SS Fun Ship for a holiday so good I'm being paid to sing about it. If you could be me now out on a pleasure cruise, seeing several sights and drinking copious booze, I'd like my friends from work to take a good look at the cheapest hangover, cause you can book. All I can say is, hey, look now, this is the life. Just like the brochures say, you can't cheat on your wife. It's a high-class ocean ride. You can't afford it and it's fun since someone died. If you could be me now out on a foreign shore, sounding every crack and with my butt burned roar, I've left the kids back home so I can really unwind on the cheapest cruise liner ever designed. All I can say is bam, just look where you are. A cabin will not slam. Here comes the Meteor. It's the best ship. Oh yes, ma'am. We'd never deceive ya, and the court says there's no scam.
Due to the ongoing military blockade, some destinations may differ from those pictured in this advertisement, as the cruise now mainly takes place around St. Barney.